Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to Bald Guy Sports Games. My name is Jerry, and today we are going to be playing some fast inning baseball. And what I have done for this, I just got this a couple of weeks ago. So what I did is I have the 1975 season. And I took the top 16 teams and created a little bracket with the 16 teams. So what that looks like is I've already played the first round. They were best of three series. And as you can see, the Cincinnati Reds advanced, the Phillies advanced, Kansas City. So those were all three favorites in the series. The first upset we had was the Cleveland Indians defeating the Pittsburgh Pirates. Then we went down. Baltimore was the favorite, so they won. Then we had the Texas Rangers. They went in and upset the Boston Red Sox. And then we had the Dodgers. We had a play-in game. The Chicago Cubs and the Montreal Expos played in to get into the tournament. So the first round was the best of three. The second round is a best of five. And in the second round, the Philadelphia Phillies, they upset the number one seed Cincinnati Reds, and they advanced on to the next round. So now we are playing the Kansas City Royals and the Cleveland Indians. So we're going to play that series. I'm going to roll the die. I've got the teams here, and I'll tell you what I've done for the way I figure this out is the home team is, I mean, the team with the most wins is the home team for the first two games. Then there's two on the road, and then there's one more at the home game if we need a game five. Also, the way I pick pitchers is I roll. So we'll roll here, and I'll give you an example. So we're going to roll now for the Cleveland starters. So we're just going to roll two die, and that's a 14. So Dennis Eckersley will start for Cleveland. And Dennis Eckersley is a B+7. And there's nothing versus power, so he's that way. Now, what we'll do is the next game we'll roll. If he gets rolled again, then we go to the pitcher that's below him. If not, we take the next pitcher. That way, when we get down to game deciding, so if it say Kansas City wins the first two games, then the third game Cleveland would play their very best starter because it's an elimination game and so on. So that's how we'll do things. So Kansas City will counter with, let's see who Kansas City counters with. They will counter with Steve Busby. And he is a B+8. And he's got a tough number, or he could have a tough number. It's got to decide on the roller dice. So the B+7, of course, is they're good until the seventh inning. Then they have a chance of getting tired. So I usually try to pull them unless they're having a great game. I'll pull them at that time. And so that's how we get things going. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. So game one, I'll I'll be keeping some notes over here, but we'll just go from there. And if you guys look, if I'm doing something wrong and you guys see that, just let me know. I've only played a couple of games of this, so I want to make sure that I'm doing everything correctly. So let's go ahead and play ball and get started. So as you guys know, the way I'll roll is the red, white, and blue die will be the decider dice. So you take the lowest number. So if I would roll, that would be a 3, 3, 4. So you take the lowest to the highest dice. And then I roll the black die with it all the time because that's kind of the decider die. How many hits are in an inning, that sort of thing. So I always roll it at the same time just to save some time. So here we go. So first up is the Cleveland Indians. So they were 79 and 80. We're playing in Kansas City in Kauffman Stadium. It is a pitcher's park, so if it does ask for that, we need to see if that comes into play. And Kansas City was 91 and 71 in 1975. So the managers, Frank Robinson for the Cleveland Indians, and Jack McKeon and Whitey Herzog for the Kansas City Royals. So here we go. Cleveland's up to bat first. So that's a 2-6-6. So is it a hitter's park? So again, it says pitcher's park, so we don't have to worry about that. So we go over outfielder makes a catch at the warning track with no runs. So the top of the first, Cleveland does nothing. Let's see what Kansas City can do. That's a 2-5-5. 2-5-5 strong batting team. So we go look at Kansas City. Power-wise, they're neutral. Shaky pitching, no. So that is just no runs on one hit. So Kansas City, no runs on one hit. Now we go to the top of the second. This goes pretty quick. That's why you can play a lot of games in a pretty quick way there. So 1-2-6. So 1-2-6. That is an easy grounder to the second baseman. Will end the inning, no runs. So now we go to Kansas City in the bottom of the second. That is a 3-4-5. So 3-4-5 is fielder bobbles an easy grounder. The decide or die, if it's an odd number, it would be an error. It is not an odd number, so it is just he goes ahead and catches the ball. It doesn't hurt him. The error doesn't hurt him. He picks it up and makes a play. So now we go to the top of the third. That's a 1-3-3. 1-3-3 is pitching grade F. No, we know the pitching grade is not F. Leadoff walk and stolen base are wasted, no hits and no runs. So we go to the bottom of the third inning with Kansas City. And it is a 1-3-4. Swinging strikeout, gets by the catcher, but he throws the runner out at first in the inning, no runs and no hits. So we head into the top of the fourth inning with only one hit being allowed by both pitchers. So it's a pretty good pitching duel so far. That is a 1-3-3. Pitching grade F, no. So that leadoff walk and stolen base are wasted again. So no hits and no runs. Kansas City in the fourth inning, bottom of the fourth. It is a 1-2-2. A 1-2-2 fielder's choice following the walk ends the inning. No hit, no runs on one hit. So Kansas City is the only team that has a hit. Cleveland is hitless going to the fifth inning. Let's see if they can mix that up. That is a 4-6-6. So we're going to the clutch at bat chart. So let's see who that clutch at bat would be. We use a red and white die for that. That'd be a 34 for Cleveland. So 34. George Hendricks has a clutch at, or has a possibility. And George Hendricks is a D. Our pitcher is a B+. So we look over here on the chart, B+. And Hendricks is a D. So we go on over. We need a 55 for this to be a clutch hit. And it is not a clutch hit. Then we look at the 3. Easy fly out will end the scoring threat. No runs on one hit. So Cleveland gets their first hit of the day, but no clutch hit for Hendricks. And we head to the bottom of the fifth. Tied 0-0. So we've got a 4-5-6. So they have a possibility for a clutch hit. So let's see who that is for Kansas City. Who can come through here? It is a 61. So that's Amos Otis. He's a B rated, and Eckersley is a B+. So we're going to look at the B+ and then a B. They need a 53 for this to be a clutch hit. So let's see if Amos can come through here. He can't, and that is a fielder's choice ground out. It ends the inning with no runs on one hit. So again, we're scoreless going into the sixth inning here. So let's see what Cleveland can do. That's a 3-4-6. So a 3-4-6 is he misplays the ball and scrambles to recover. Is it an error? It is an error. One run scores on the error. So Cleveland scores the first run on an error. Let's see who committed that error for Kansas City. That would be 41. George Brett. And then he's got an asterisk, so it's a 135. Nope. So George Brett commits the error. And the sure-handed George Brett gets the error ER5. All right, E5. So it is 1-0 Cleveland heading into the bottom of the sixth inning. We have a 3-4-6. He misplayed a ball. Is this a 1 through a 5? It is not. So no runs on no hits. And we are through 6, folks, with the Cleveland Indians leading 1-0. Again, Eckersley's a 7-inning guy, and Busby's an 8. So Eckersley can go one more inning with no issue. So Busby's pitching to Cleveland down 1-0. That's a 3-4-5. So a 3-4-5. Again, another chance for an error. It's not an error, and they are out of the inning. No hits and no runs. Kansas City is up. That is a 4-5-6, so we have an opportunity for a clutch at bat. So let's see who Kansas City will have this time. 61 for Kansas City. Again, Amos Otis puts himself in a position. It is a B plus versus a B, so he needs a 53 here. And he gets it. That's a 66. So there's a clutch. So then we go to the runs scored. They are a neutral scoring team, Kansas City. So that is a 14, and Kansas City scores 1 run on 1 hit, and the score is tied 1-1 heading to the 8th inning. Now, Busby's good for the 8th. Eckersley will come out in a tie game, so we'll see what Busby can do with Cleveland. So it's a 1-1-4. The ball's fair, and the ball's fair and will fall in for a hit run score. So Cleveland's a neutral scoring team. They roll a 15, so they score 1 run on 1 hit. And they take the lead in the 8th inning 2-1. So the new pitcher for Cleveland will be 44. So the new pitcher coming in, I'm sorry, it's the bullpen, is a C-rated bullpen. So the bullpen comes in and they are C-rated. So we'll see how this goes. Kansas City's down by a run in the bottom of the 8th. That's a 3-3-5. A 3-3-5 solid fielding team. So we look down here for Cleveland. Are they a solid fielding team? They are. Yes, they are on the die. It says they are, and that is no runs on 1 hit. So Kansas City has out hit the Reds 5-2, but they are down 2-1 heading into the bottom of the 9th inning. So Kansas City will go to the bullpen, and they have a B plus bullpen, so they will go against Cleveland. Let's see what Cleveland can do in the 9th. So it's a 1-6-6, pitcher grade A or higher. They're not. Run that falls in for extra bases. Runs are going to score for Cleveland, so the bullpen does not help out here. 32 on the run scored. And again, 1 more run scores on 3 hits. And the Cleveland Indians take a 3-2 or 3-1 lead into the bottom of the 9th. So Kansas City's backs against the wall here for Kansas City playing at home. It's a 1-5-5. 1-5-5 home batting team. Yes, we are. Home crowd to their feet as their team rallies. Runs scored. So let's see what they're going to need a big die roll here because they're a neutral scoring team. 61, they get the big die roll, and that is 4 runs, folks. 4 runs on 6 hits in the bottom of the 9th. And the Kansas City Royals win it in the bottom of the ninth, 5-3, coming up with 4 runs in the bottom of the ninth for Kansas City to take the lead. Busby gets the win. The bullpen gets the save. And there were no home runs. And the only other thing was George Brett with the errors. So Kansas City takes game 1 in a thriller in the bottom of the ninth, scoring 4 runs. So after a quick little break, we will go to game number 2. So we're back, folks. It's game number 2. We're going to see who's pitching for Cleveland. 33 is the number. So Fritz Peterson will be the starting pitcher. And Fritz is a B6. Kansas City, he's fresh coming off that huge win. They will start 51. They will start Dennis Leonard. And Dennis Leonard is a C7. So neither one have anything versus power. So that is the way they're going to line up for game number 2. So let's see if Cleveland can bounce back from that heartbreaking loss in game 1. That's a 3-3-6. That's, oh no, he should have caught that. Could be an error. It is an error, so a run is going to score. So Cleveland scores on the error. Let's see who commits the error. It's a 14, and that error is on John Mayberry. John Mayberry with the error for Kansas City. That's an E3. And Cleveland starts off 1-0 after that heartbreaking loss in the first game. That's a 4-6-6, so that could be a clutch play. So let's see if Kansas City, who's it going to in Kansas City? 31 for the clutch. That is going to be Cookie Rojas, and he is a C. So he's going up against a B pitcher. So B and a C. You need a 53 for this to be a clutch at bat. And it is not. And batter is thrown out, and it's no runs on 1 hit. So each team has 1 hit, but Cleveland has struck first, leading 1-0 in the second game of the best of 5 in Kansas City. That's a 2-2-4, and a 2-2-4 is ball is caught in deep in foul territory for the final out of the inning. No runs. So Kansas City's up next. That's a 2-3-6. A 2-3-6. Is this a strong batting team? They are not. Oh, wait. Who's up? Nope, Kansas City's up. No, they are not. Shaky pitching? No. So we go over. That's just a fly out to center field. Will end the inning on no runs and 1 hit. Top of the third, Kansas City's winning 1-0. It is a 1-5-6. Routine ground out to the third baseman. Inning is over with no runs. Go to the bottom of the third inning. And that is a 1-3-4. 1-3-4 swinging strikeout, gets by the catcher, but he throws the runner out at first to end the inning with no runs and no hits. So we go to the top of the 4th inning. It is a 2-4-4. First baseman takes it to the bag for the final out. No runs and no hits for the Cleveland Indians in the top of the 4th. We head to the bottom of the 4th, Cleveland leading 1-0. That is a 2-4-5. A 2-4-5 unhittable change for the swinging strike 3, inning over, no runs for Kansas City. And we go to the top of the 5th inning with Cleveland leading 1-0. We've got a 5-6-6, so we have a chance for a clutch hit here from Cleveland. Let's see who has that opportunity. 44. That is going to be Rorik Harrison. He's a C. He's up against Dennis Leonard, who's a C. So they're both C's. A C versus C. He needs a 52 to come through with the clutch hit. And he does come through with the clutch hit. So we're going to come over to the run scored table. It is a 53, and that is going to be 2 runs scored on 2 hits. And Cookie Rojas comes through with the clutch hit. And Cleveland is leading 3-0 heading into the bottom of the 5th inning. So that is a 5-5-5. So that is another clutch at bat possible. And we're going to, for some reason, it says my high CPU usage detected. So I'm hoping we're not having any issues here. We'll have to see what that looks like. But we have a possibility of a clutch hit by Kansas City. Let's see who that would be. That would be 42, which would be George Brett has a possibility for a clutch hit. He's an A, so he is going up against a B pitcher. So he's B, he's an A. So a 46 or above, and George Brett gets a clutch hit, and he can't come through. And that is an easy fly out, will end the scoring threat. No runs on 1 hit. And George Brett leaves runners in scoring position. We go to the top of the 6th inning, Cleveland leading 3-0. That's a 3-6-6. Porous fielding team. Kansas City is not a porous fielding team. So that is no runs on 1 hit, easy ground ball out. And we are heading to the bottom of the 6th inning with Kansas City losing 3-0. That is a 2-5-6. A 2-5-6 is pitcher fields the ball, tosses the first in the inning, no runs on 1 hit. And we are heading into the 7th inning now. Peterson is pitching for Cleveland, so he will need to come out this inning, which is fine anyhow, and he's done his job. So we'll see what Cleveland does here against Leonard. That's a 3-4-5. So a 3-4-5. Fielder bobbles the easy grounder. Is it an error? It is not. So he collects himself and gets out of the inning, not allowing a run or a hit. So good defense there. He just scrambled a little bit. Now Kansas City is up, still behind. That is a 2-3-5. He goes down swinging to end the inning. No runs on no hits. And both teams are now in the bullpen. So Kansas City bullpen's a B+, and Cleveland's bullpen is a C. So let's see what Cleveland does here, leading 3-0 into the 8th inning after the 7th inning stretch here. We've got a 1-1-6. So 1-1-6. The 4-6-3 double play ends the inning on no runs and 1 hit. Kansas City, time starting to run out. They're down 3-0 in the bottom of the 8th. Let's see if they can rebound. It is a 1-1-4. That ball is fair and will fall in for a hit. Runs will score. Let's see again. They're a neutral scoring team. 1 run will score on 1 hit. And Kansas City closes to within 3-2 heading into the 9th inning. So Cleveland comes to the plate in the 9th inning, leading 3-1. That's a 2-4-5, a 2-4-5 unhittable change for a swinging strike 3, inning over, no runs on no hits. So now Cleveland will come in with their closer, Dave LaRoche. He's a C, but he's also tough. So we will see what he can do. Kansas City, do they have any more 9th inning magic like they had in game 1? That is a 2-3-5. He goes down swinging to end the inning and the game. No hits, no runs. And Kansas City loses game 2, 3-1. The winner will be Peterson. The save will go to LaRoche. And the losing pitcher will be Dave Leonard for Kansas City. or Dennis Leonard. So the series is tied 1-1 as we get on the airplane and we head to Cleveland for game number 3. So here we are, folks. We're back in Cleveland. Now, Cleveland's ballpark is a hitter's ballpark, and we will see who's starting for Kansas City. So Kansas City will roll a 16. They will start Al Fitzmaurice. So Al Fitzmaurice will start. Fitzy will start. And he is a B7 and possibly tough. So that's a good start. Cleveland will counter with 14. So can't have Eckersley. Fritz is already pitched, right? So Don Hood will be the pitcher. And he is a C6 shaky. So getting into the bullpen, getting into the lower rotation here a little bit, but it's a long series. So now Kansas City is up to bat. The series is tied 1-1. Let's see what they can do. They start off with a 2-3-6 to start the game. Are they a strong batting team? They are not. Is it a shaky pitcher? It could be. He is a shaky pitcher. He hits it high and far, and that is a home run. So we will have to see. That's where the shaky pitcher really hurts Cleveland there. The shaky pitch. So we roll on the home run chart, and we roll. It is an 11. So just a one-run homer. But Kansas City gets on the board in the first inning. Let's see who hits that home. 55 for Kansas City. That is 55. That is going to be Harmon Killebrew. Harmon Killebrew with the home run. And Kansas City leads 1-0. Now we go see what Cleveland can do with their first at bat at home. They are a 1-3-6, a 1-3-6. Now shortstop fires to first to end the inning, no hits and no runs for the Cleveland Indians. Kansas City steps up. That's a 2-3-4. Weak batting team, they are not. Tough pitcher, it is not. It could be, it might be, it's out of here for another home run for Kansas City. Let's see what that looks like. That's a 55. That's going to be some damage. That is 2 runs scored. And let's see who hit that home run. 62. That is Jim Wolford hits the 2-run homer. And Cleveland takes a 3-0 lead in the second inning. So we'll see if Cleveland can bounce back here. That's a 1-2-4 for Cleveland. Shallow fly out to center field will end the inning. No hits and one hit and no runs. Go to the third inning. That's a 3-3-5. 3-3-5, folks. 3-3-5 is a solid fielding team. So is Cleveland a solid fielding team? They can be. They are. So solid fielding team. So that's no runs on 1 hit. All right, Cleveland's got to see if they can make something happen here. That's a 2-4-4. And that is a first baseman takes it at the bag for the final out, no runs. We go to the top of the 4th inning with Kansas City leading 3-0. That's a 2-3-6. Strong batting team? No. Shaky pitching? It could be. It's not. So that's a fly out to center field, no runs on 1 hit. Really like that idea about sometimes they're bad, their bad traits hurt them, but then sometimes it doesn't, because just like real baseball, not everything's going to be written in black and white. So we've got a 5-5-5. So we know that's a clutch play. So we're going to see who that clutch play is, and that's for Cleveland. Let's see who that is. 62 for Cleveland. Rico Cardi. He's a B going up against a B pitcher. So B and a B. So he needs a 52 to come through with a clutch hit. It is a 62. So he does come through with the clutch hit. Let's see what that looks like. Cleveland is a neutral scoring team. That's a 63. That's still going to do some damage there. That's 4 runs, folks. 4 runs on 6 hits in the bottom of the fourth. And they take a 4-3 lead after a huge inning. We may have to look at the pitching before we go to the next inning. So Kansas City comes to the plate in the 5th inning, down 4-3. That's a 5-6-6, so that could be a clutch play for Kansas City. Let's see who that is. That's a 51. So that could be Hal McRae. He's a B plus. Cleveland's pitcher is a C. So C and a B plus. He needs a 46 for this to be clutch. It is 54, so it's a clutch hit. Let's see what those runs look like. That's a 21, and that's a 1 run on 1 hit. But Kansas City ties it up in the top of the 5th inning, and it is 4-4. We're going to go ahead and Kansas City's going to take a chance and leave Al Fitzmaurice in there for a little bit. We'll try one more, see if he can get out of here. That's a 1-4-6. A 1-4-6 is pitcher grade C or lower. It is not. He is a B. Fitz is a B grade. So first baseman will take the ball on the bag himself. No runs, no hits, and we head to the 6th inning with the score: Cleveland 4, Kansas City 3. Kansas City comes up with a 3-4-6. He misplays the ball and scrambles to recover. Is it an error? It is an error with 1 run scored for Kansas City, and they tied the game up on the error. Who committed the error for Cleveland? That's 12. That error is on Alan Ashby, the catcher, and the catcher allows an error and allows the tying run to score in the top of the 6th inning. So Cleveland comes now. Cleveland's pitcher, we got to make sure we're good there. He's 6. He can go one more inning without any problem. So 3-4-5. Fielder bobbles the ball for an easy grounder. Is it an error? It's not. So he recovers and gets out of the inning. And we head to the 7th inning with the score tied 4-4. All right, let's see what we can do here in the 7th. It's a 1-1-3. A 1-1-3. Batter fans on the outside pitch to end the inning. No runs and no hits. So Kansas City's starter, they're a B7, so they can go one more inning. And it is a 2-2-4. A 2-2-4. Ball is caught in deep foul territory for the final out. No runs and no hits. And we're going to go ahead and replace both. Both are going to the bullpen tied at 4-4. So now both bullpens, Cleveland's a C and Kansas City's a B plus. So it looks like Kansas City's bullpen's a little tougher than Cleveland's. Kansas City comes up to the plate. It is a 1-3-5. Second baseman snags the line drive to end the inning. No runs on 1 hit. And now Cleveland comes to bat, tied and hoping to come through with a clutch hit. It is a 2-4-6. So a 2-4-6 is hit hard and far. This ball isn't coming back. That's a home run. And so Cleveland hits a home run. Let's see who hits that. Let's see what that home run looks like. 44. So that is a 2-run homer. And who hit that home run? 35 for Cleveland. or I'm sorry, for Kansas City. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. In the top of the ninth, that's Kansas City. So a 2-run home run, 35. Kansas City is George Brett hits the 2-run homer in the ninth inning to give Kansas City a 6. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm all jacked up here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so Kansas City now is leading 7-6 heading into the bottom of the ninth inning. So it's 7-6 with George Brett coming up clutch. And we'll see what Cleveland can do here in the bottom of the ninth. It is a 2-3-4. Weak batting team. No. Is the bullpen tough? No. It could be. It might. It's out of here for a home run. Oh my gosh, folks. It looks like, let's see what kind of home run this is. 33. It is a 1-run homer, but that is all they need to tie this game up. Let's see who tied the game up for Cleveland. It is 31. Frank Duffy comes in with the home run and ties the game. Frank Duffy, the shortstop, ties it for Cleveland. And we will head to the 10th inning with the score tied 7-7. So we're still in the bullpens here. It is a 3-4-6 for Kansas City. 3-4-6. He misplays the ball and scrambles to recover. He does not recover. 1 run scores on an error. Who committed that error for Cleveland? It is 14. Boog Powell at first base commits the error, and that could come back to haunt them, folks, as that was in the top of the 10th inning. They're going to have to try to have another miracle here in the bottom of the 10th. Kansas City is bringing in their closer. Doug Bird will come in to face Cleveland in the bottom of the 10th. It is a 3-3-6. 3-3-6. Oh no, he should have caught that. Could it be an error? It is not. So there he recovers, and that is it for the ball game, folks. The Kansas City Royals win 8-7 in the 10th inning to take a 2-1 series lead here in Cleveland. Kansas City has had some great wins in the bottom parts of the innings and in late innings. So now we will see what they can do for game 4. So we do know. Oh, hey, cool. Thanks, Danny. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, I guess I need to do that. It's just I'm using this Xstream, and it tells you if they're having some CPU issues. So I just getting the issue, but it sounds like everything's working good. So uh, okay, so good job there. I'm glad that's happening. So we are heading to the game 4. So of course Cleveland is going to counter with their best pitcher, and that will be, we'll put Gaylord Perry is going to start for Cleveland, and he is a B+8, and he can be shaky though, so that's a downfall. And Kansas City is going to go with Paul Splitteroff, what a name. Paul Splitter, I'm going to call him. Splitteroff. And he is a B6, and he can be tough at times. So we'll see how this plays out. As we go, we are now in game 4. Kansas City's up 2-1. If Kansas City wins this game, they will advance in the tournament. So it's all hands on deck for Cleveland as we go into the Kansas City top of the first. It is a 1-3-5 for Kansas City, a 1-3-5. Second baseman snags the line drive to end the inning on 1 hit and no runs. And Cleveland will come to bat. There's lots of pressure on Cleveland as they have to win this baseball game. So it's a 2-3-6 for Cleveland. Are they a strong batting team? They are, or they possibly can be on a 1-3 or 5. They are not at this at bat. Is it a shaky pitcher? It could be, but again, it is not because of that. Uh, that's a fly out to center field that will end the inning on no runs and no hits. So that was a lot to do about nothing there. All right, so we're heading to the top of the second inning. Kansas City will come in with a 2-5-6. The 2-5-6 is going to be pitcher fields the ball and tosses to first to end the inning on no runs and 1 hit for Kansas City. So Cleveland gets an opportunity for a clutch at bat with a 5-5-6. So let's see who that possible clutch batter could be. It is 34 for Cleveland, and that is going to be Buddy Bell. He's a C. He's going up against a B. So B versus a C. He will need a 53 here to get a clutch hit. It is a 45. He does not get the clutch hit and is popped up in the infield and caught for the third out. No runs on 1 hit. So the scoring opportunity goes by the wayside for Cleveland, and they can't afford to let those waste. So now we go to the top of the third inning. Kansas City at bat. That's a 1-4-5 for Kansas City. The soft hit liner over the infield is tracked down by the shortstop. No runs and no hits for Kansas City in the top of the third. Cleveland comes up to the plate. That's a 3-4-6. A 3-4-6 is going to be, he misplays the ball and scrambles to recover. Is it an error? It is not. So no runs on no hits. And we head to the fourth inning with this game tied at 0-0. So the pressure's starting to mount a little bit for Kansas City. They are possibly 6 out away from being eliminated in this series. So Kansas City to the plate. That's a 1-4-4. So a 1-4-4. Pitcher grade D or lower. It is not. Batter fans on a breaking ball to end the inning. No runs on no hits. And both pitchers are playing very well right now. Cleveland to the plate. That's a 2-3-4. 2-3-4 is going to be weak batting team. They are not tough pitchers. So let's see. Kansas City, he could be tough on. He is tough. So no runs and no hits. And that's where that random rating comes in, folks. So we go to the top of the fifth inning. The score tied 0-0. It's a 1-3-4 for Kansas City. Swing a strikeout, gets by the catcher, and he throws the runner out at first to end the inning. No runs on no hits. And folks, this is a barn burner. Kansas City has 2 hits going into the 6th inning, and Cleveland has only gotten 1 hit themselves. So let's see what they can do now. They're going to have an opportunity now, though. That could be a clutch hit. So let's see who's the batter that could do that. It's 14 for Cleveland. That is Boog Powell. He's a C. So he's going up against a B. I think we did this before. He needs a 53. Boog Powell needs a 53. He does not get it. And pitcher strikes him out looking. No runs on 1 hit. So again, Cleveland allowing base runners to get stuck or having a clutch hitting situation. So now we go to the top of the 6th inning. Kansas City. That's a 1-3-5 for Kansas City. Second baseman snags a line drive to end the inning. No runs on 1 hit. Kansas City now has 3 hits, but they have no runs to show for those 3 hits. And Cleveland has 2 hits as well as no runs to show. So we're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Cleveland comes to the plate. That's a 2-3-4. Weak batting team. Cleveland is not a weak batting team. Tough pitcher. So we come over here. He could be tough. He is not this time. It could be. It might be. It is out of here. It is a home run for the Cleveland Indians. Let's see what that looks like. That's a 41 on the home run chart. So that is 1 run. That's a 1-run homer on 2. There's 2 hits in the inning. And Cleveland takes the lead. Let's see who hit that home run. 56. That was Rico Carty, the DH, with the home run for Cleveland. And Cleveland takes a 1-0 lead heading into the 7th inning. So Kansas City will have to go to the bullpen this next inning. And Cleveland, Gaylord Perry's good for 8, so he's going to stay in the game. He's pitching a pretty good game. That's a 1-3-5. Second baseman snags a line drive in the inning. No runs on 1 hit. And Kansas City is getting some hits, but they can't seem to put some runs across the plate. Kansas City goes to the bullpen. They're a B-plus bullpen. Let's see what Cleveland can do to add on to this lead. And they're going to get the opportunity. Another clutch at bat. Let's see who's that clutch at bat. That's 23. That's going to be Dwayne Kuiper. He's a C rated, and he is up against the bullpen is a B plus. So he will need a 54. So Dwayne will need a 54 here. He does get it, 62. So it's goes to the run scored. It is a 22. 1 run scores on 3 hits. And Cleveland takes a 2-0 lead heading into the top 3, 4, 5, 6, heading into the top of the 8th inning. So they're up 2-0 heading into the 8th inning. Kansas City needs to do something here. That is a 3-4-6. A 3-4-6 is going to be could be an error. Scrambles to recover is an error. It's not. No runs on no hits. In Kansas City or Cleveland goes to the bullpen now. As Perry, you know what? No, they're not. They've got a 2-0 lead. Gaylord Perry is pitching. Well, yeah, they're going to go to the bullpen. They want to make sure that they. So Cleveland bullpen is a notch down, but they don't have to take the stamina rating. So here we go. Cleveland's at bat. It is a 1-1-5 for Cleveland. A 1-1-5 low scoring team. No, that is not the case. Easy chopper to nope. Hot grounder gets by the second baseman. Runs will score. Cleveland is piling on now. It is 46 in the run scored. So that is 2 more runs on 4 hits. And Cleveland has taken a 4-0 lead heading into the top of the 9th. They will bring in their closer, Dave LaRoche. Their closer comes into the game. They are 3 outs from tying this up and forcing a game 5 in Kansas City. So here they go. That's a 3-5-6. 3-5-6 is a fielding team flashy. They are not. Grounder to the bag. At least one more. Let's see what Kansas City. Oh, are they going to have some more 9th inning magic? It is a 13. Not this time. They get 1 run on 2 hits, and that is it, folks. As the Cleveland Indians take Game 4, 3-1, and force a Game 5 in Kansas City. Wow, what a good series this is. So Cleveland will get back on the plane and head to Kansas City for Game 5 and the decider in this best-of-5 series. Fantastic. This is a great little game, folks. Quick and easy to play. It's fast. You can get it in the books pretty quick. And yeah, it's a lot of fun to play. So all right, so we are now in Kansas City, folks, and let's see who will go for Kansas City. So we just went with who went the last game? Paul Spittlehoff. So we're going to go back to Steve Busby will start Game 5 for Kansas City. And Cleveland will come back. They had Gaylord Perry last time, so they will come back with Dennis Eckersley will be pitching for Cleveland. As you guys know, Eckersley went to the pen later in his career and was a beast. But so Busby is a B+8, and he can be tough at times. And Eckersley is a B+7. So these are going to be your starters for the 5th game and final game of this series. So hold on to your hats, everybody. Here we go. Game 5, Cleveland to the plate. That's a 1-3-5 for Cleveland. Second baseman snags a line drive to end the inning. No runs on 1 hit. Cleveland gets the first hit of the game, but they cannot convert, and Kansas City comes to the plate. That's a 3-3-5 for Kansas City. 3-3-5. Is it a solid fielding team? It can be. They are. That is no runs on 1 hit for Kansas City. And we head to the second inning with no runs scored and each team with 1 hit. Cleveland to the plate. That's a 2-2-3. A 2-2-3 is outfielder makes a jogging catch and the inning is over. No runs on 1 hit. Kansas City. The hometown Kansas City Royals come to the plate. The crowd is going crazy here in Kansas City. It is a 1-2-2. A 1-2-2. That is going to be fielder's choice following the walk. Ends the inning. No runs on 1 hit. So they can't take advantage of the walk and the hit, and they leave 2 stranded as they head into the top of the 3rd inning. Cleveland coming to bat. That is a 2-5-6 for Cleveland. Pitcher fields the ball, tosses to first to end the inning. No runs on 1 hit. And Cleveland has no runs scored in 3 innings, and Kansas City also has no runs scored as they head to the plate in the 3rd inning. That's a 2-5-5. A 2-5-5 for Kansas City. Is it a strong batting team? No. Is it a shaky pitching? Who do we have? Eckersley? No. So that's going to be no runs on 1 hit. And folks, we head to the 4th inning. Both teams have 3 hits, and both teams have no runs scored. So top of the 4th, going with Cleveland. It is a 2-6-6. A 2-6-6. Is this a hitter's park? We're in Kansas City. No, it's not. It's a pitcher's park. The outfield makes a catch at the warning truck. No runs on no hits. This game was in Cleveland. That possibly could have been out, but we're in Kansas City. Kansas City to the plate. That's a 4-6-6. That is going to be a possible clutch at bat. Let's see who's got that possible clutch at bat. 26. Cookie Rojas, he's came through earlier in the series. So Eckersley's a B plus and Cookie's a C. He needs a 54 or better. He is clutch again. Cookie Rojas comes in clutch again for Kansas City, and it is a 32 on the run. It is 1 run on 2 hits, and Kansas City draws first blood in Game 5, and they take a 1-0 lead heading into the 5th inning. Cookie Rojas has been the MVP of this series so far. Cleveland at the plate. That's a 1-2-2. A 1-2-2. We're at fielder's choice. Following the walk, ends the inning. No runs on 1 hit. And Cleveland leaving runners stranded as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning for Kansas City. It is a 1-3-4. A 1-3-4 for Kansas City. Swinging strikeout, gets by the catcher, but he throws the runner out to end the inning. No hits and no runs. And we head to the 6th inning, folks. Kansas City is leading 1-0 heading into the 6th inning. They are 3 innings away from advancing in these playoffs. That's a 2-4-6 for Cleveland. A 2-4-6 for Cleveland. Hit hard and far. That ball isn't coming back. That's a home run for the Cleveland. Let's see what kind of home run that is. That's a 34. That is a 1-run homer. Cleveland ties the game up on, let's see who hit that. That's a 14. Boog Powell ties it up with a solo shot to center field. And the score is now 1-1 as we head into the bottom of the 6th inning. So Cleveland is not going to go away quietly. Kansas City with a 3-4-5. 3-4-5 for Kansas City. Fielder bobbles the easy grounder. Is it an error? It is. 1 run will score. And Kansas City gets right back into it with an error. Who committed that error for Cleveland? That's 54. Charlie Spikes, the right fielder, commits the error and allows Kansas City to go back up in this game 2-1 as we head to the seventh inning. So Kansas City fans can feel it. They're starting to get on their feet again. It's a 2-2-3 for Cleveland, a 2-2-3. Outfielder makes a jogging catch, and the inning is over. No hits on 1 run. And folks, Kansas City is now 6 outs away from advancing in the playoffs. Let's see what they can do to pad their lead here. That's a 2-4-5. 2-4-5. Unhittable change. Swinging strike 3, inning over. No hits and no runs. And we are now in the 8th inning. Both teams, no, let's see. Busby can still go. Busby's going to stay in the game, but we will see. So Busby stays in the game. And that's a 1-5-5 for Cleveland. A 1-5-5. We are looking at, are they the home batting team? They are not the home batting team. So visitors are retired in order 1, 2, 3. And folks, things are getting rowdy in Kansas City. Kansas City comes to the plate. It is a 2-2-2. We get to go to the game day drama table. So the first time in this series, we go to the drama table. So we roll 2 dice. Again, the red is the head dice. It's a 65. Or I'm sorry, 56, because you go low to high. 56 is run around first, breaks for second, but is caught in a rundown and can't escape the tag. No runs and no hits for Kansas City. So it got a little exciting, but not the way Kansas City wanted to do it. So, folks, we are headed now to the 9th inning. Kansas City leading 2-1 with a 3-1 series, or the series is tied 2-2. Whoever wins this game advances in the playoffs, and Kansas City is coming. All they need here is they go to the bullpen. Doug Bird, their closer, comes in, and let's see what Cleveland can do. It is a 2-4-6. A 2-4-6. That is hit hard and fair. The ball isn't coming back. That is a home run for Cleveland. Let's see what that looks like. This could be amazing, folks. That's a 44 for the home run. That is a 2-run homer for Cleveland on 3 hits. Who hit that 2-run homer for Cleveland? That's a 33. That is Buddy Bell with the home run for Cleveland, giving Cleveland a 3-2 lead as we head to the bottom of the 9th. Unbelievable. And the Kansas City crowd is stunned. You can hear a pin drop in this place, folks. It is 3-2 with Buddy Bell hitting a 2-run homer in the top of the 9th inning to give Cleveland a 3-2 lead. The fans are starting to get back into it. Kansas City's back is against the wall. They bring in the closer, Dave LaRoche for Cleveland. And now let's see what Kansas City can do. Can they come up with some 9th inning magic? It is a 2-4-4. First baseman takes it to the bag for the final out. No hits and no runs. And folks, unbelievable. Cleveland wins in the top of the 9th to advance in this playoff series in Kansas City 3-2. What a fantastic game. We had a lot of cool things happen in that game and just a lot of fun going on there. So let's see what the standings look like here. If I can get off that screen. There we go. So the Cleveland Indians upset the Cleveland upsets Pittsburgh in the first round, and now they upset Kansas City in the second round, and they will advance to take on the Philadelphia Phillies in the next round, which will also be a best of 5, and they will also be on the road again for that series. So they will be the underdogs. But right now, folks, Cleveland advances on an amazing game. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in and coming in and hanging out with Bald Guy Sports. We're first time we've got to make sure you like and subscribe, do all that. We just started this channel about a week ago, So please go check it out. I hope you like what you saw. But until next time, everybody, be safe, be kind, happy sports game.